Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tarkov. I'm the EarLegAthlete here with cricket sounds, John Cena music. Just kidding, boys. The homie Adam is back.
Yeah, I'm not sick anymore.
Yeah. But BSG and Nikita have posted quite a bit for us to go over, so we'll get right into it. But quickly, before we get started, I will be attending Pax West this year, so if any of you are going to be out there, let me know. We can meet up potentially. This is my first year going out. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know if anybody's going to be out that way. Let us know. I'll definitely be there. All right, yeah, let's get right into this info. So we have a new Nikileak posted, and we can start right along with that. We've got a Magpul buttstock on what could potentially be one of my upcoming favorite guns to use. We are seeing the Radian 545 or 556 AK variant. This thing is gnarly. Or wait, is it the 545 M4?
No.
It's the 556 AK, right?
Or no, actually, no, it's 5.56 mag.
It's got a 556 mag. It's got a 556 muzzle device.
So is that just a newer M4?
556 AK variant, but it's not an AK at all.
No, it's
I
not
thought
an
this was
AK,
going to be the 545 M4 or not the the 545 M4.
It looks like just a, alternate
It does just
M4
look like a
build.
Radiant M4, maybe 300 blackout.
Yeah, it could be. Could
Yeah,
be
it's a
300 blackout, could be
multi-caliber. It is a
5.56.
multi-caliber. It says it right
Okay.
here. Multi-cal.
I mean, I always kind of wondered that too, why they didn't have more versions of the M4. They just have the Colt version in there, considering there's so many different versions. I do like the look of that one too.
It does look cool though. I am excited for it. Whatever it is, it's a new rifle, so it's something we get to play with. It looks like it has a lot of modularity to it, so we could be able to swap out parts. Upper
Yeah, it's definitely
receiver,
an
pistol
M4
grip,
base.
buttstock. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely an M4 base with just looks like kind of like some of the AKs are, where you know what I mean. It's like a newer produced AK from a different
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Instead of the Kalashnikov, it's some other company
Right.
specifically.
Yeah. Instead of the Colt
Takes the
M4,
AK
we're getting the
design and
Radian. Yeah.
right. So it's just like a pre-modded M4 is what it looks like.
Well, and this being multi-caliber, which I know multiple of the guns in game are multi-caliber
Yeah.
in real life, though they may not be currently in game. We may also be seeing the multi-caliber in game introduction, and this could just be one of the things that brings it along. Maybe not. I could be wrong. But
It's
this is
been
rendered for
rumored.
in game, so I mean, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
mean,
It
yeah,
that's the thing. It has been talked about. It has been rumored, but we don't know for sure.
if
So I
you
hate to say oh it's coming, but this could potentially be because this looks like it's 556, 300 blackout. You know what I mean? Like this covers multiple calibers, or it should.
Yeah, if you look at the MDRs and the MCXs and stuff in game, because they're modeling the actual gun, it still says multi-caliber on it. So I would hope any of those guns that have that option that they eventually will bring it in game, which they should
Yeah,
be
that
able
is
to.
something. Yeah, and it would slim down on a lot of the extra pieces and stuff too.
Yeah,
You only need one gun, and you can just swap the receiver for what caliber you're firing.
exactly. In a game like this where you can switch so many parts, it makes
Well, yeah, that's
sense.
true. Yeah, the amount of modularity we already have. Why not
Right.
just add the access for multi-caliber instead of having a 7.62 MDR and a 5.56 MDR and
Which
all these extra
I'm
variants
90.
for this stuff that's just adding extra guns.
I'm 90 plus, probably 95% sure that that's
That is
going to
coming.
happen with the 1.0. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
it
one of those
seems like
features
it.
that they're just saving. It's like they have to save some stuff. We've talked about that before. If they give us everything before, it's like what's left to do. So
Right.
that's one of those big ones that it's like it should be in the game. And the only reason I think it's not is because they're probably doing last minute testing and just figured,
Make sure
save it.
everything works as is. Make sure you can't
Right.
put the 7.6251 parts on and run 300 blackout through it or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just double checking on everything. But yeah,
Yep.
the next screen we have is interesting. At
Yeah.
first I was thinking quad, but then after seeing him move his we'll watch it. He's clearly shifting a gear, it would seem.
He's either
Um
shifting a gear or he's a bus driver opening a door.
that's what that was the next thought was maybe he's like the bus driver and it's like a new animation for some travel from terminal to here or something. I
Well,
don't know.
if you remember a while back, we had that Nikileak
Bus that
that
was
had like
moving
buses
around,
in it.
yeah.
Yeah, remember? And we was like, that bus looks like it's moving. It was
Yeah,
like, it
maybe
actually looks
somebody
drivable.
you know what? I'm wondering if to get into terminal, we have to clear an area to, let a depot through, some trucks through into a depot or something, if we don't climb on that bus, and, like, hit the buttons and back the fucking thing up. It's dumb,
I
but, I
could
mean,
see
it's
it.
possible. Like,
No,
I
no,
could
I
see
could
it.
see it. The more and more I see of like stuff they've shown, the more I think they're going to have us doing a lot of things that are like not in the game right now, but it's going to be
Right.
like in the story part of the game that we're not used to in real Tarkov, such
Yeah,
as
well
like opening doors like in different ways, like something's jammed. We had that one Nikileak that showed kind of like trying to barge a door open or trying to use like a crowbar or something to open a
right,
door.
yeah, yeah.
Like I could see a few of those things, and this being one of those added
Oh
for the
my
story.
god. You know that Nikileak we got a while back where the crowbar was next to the door? And we were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
what kind of door is it? Is it a ship? Is it this? Is it that?" I'm
right.
convinced now it's part of whatever the name of it, the borealis or whatever it's called. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I could see us needing to go in and move the bus and do a couple things and, like, just, like, silly things like that, especially considering that it is, like you said, it is a single player story experience when we get to the actual end game of escaping Tarkov.
Right. And at the beginning too, when you first get dropped down in, I think when you're dropped into ground zero, you're going to start that off also on like a linear path where you only have like a certain thing you can do,
Yeah,
and this could be
yeah.
one of the things to start the game.
It's very possible. Yeah, that's an interesting one though, because that opens up the door for a lot of things. And like I know with last week's Nikileak, we saw like quads and stuff on the what's the word? The concept
On the
art
shore.
on the
Oh, I thought
concept
you said
art.
like where they were at.
Yeah, well, you see
Yeah.
on the concept art, there's two quads rolling up to the Borealis. So maybe we're able to drive them at some point, or maybe it's just a cutscene type situation. But it looks pretty
Yeah,
cool.
maybe you pay for like a ride and you just see the cutscene of it happening or
Yeah, that might be part of why this is too. They just need, the animations for the cutscenes and things.
right. And a lot of this could be just clues of what's going to be happening instead of like showing things we're doing. It could be just showing like this is more of a clue like hey, you're going
Right,
to
you're gonna be able to
be
drive or
riding in
move or
something.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah. But yeah, and then we have some more look at the secretive building we know nothing about yet. At first, I was thinking it was part of the ship, but this looks like again call back to last week's
Nikki
Nikki
Week.
leak. Um, last week's Nikki leak, we had the what I was calling potentially the reserve rework. I guess it could be absolutely be a terminal add-on or part of terminal or whatever. Maybe they decided to ditch the reserve rework entirely, but I don't know. But this does kind of give like an underground bunker type feel. Maybe it's a little too well lit for reserve, but we don't know how they're changing reserve and in what way. That's why I was leaning towards it. And the depots that we were seeing in last week's Nikki Leak also kind of looked like reserve depot type setup, like style, like the rounded roofs and stuff. Um, but then we got this week's Nikki Leak, and at first I was thinking it was the ship because all my focus has been on the ship, right? It's like, oh, everything's related to the ship, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is absolutely either terminal or reserve, and I'm sticking with that. And the reason I'm not cool with this being the ship is because these are concrete walls. It looks like at least. Is there better quality on this? No. They look like concrete walls, and you don't typically see that in ships, but there's a lot going on in there. That little few
The
clips.
only reason I think ship is because of
You have
the
these doors.
yeah, the doors and the floor. The floor reminds me of like maybe it's all the piping because it's like a
That's the
lot
thing,
of
it
the
does kind
hulls
of,
on
like, fit
ships.
with a ship. Yeah, it kinda
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. So it's like I haven't been on a ton of ships in my lifetime, actually none, but
Right.
I've seen a lot, and it feels like it just resembles that the most. But then
It
again,
does, to a
there's so
degree.
many things it could be. Yeah, yeah. There's
The
so many
concrete
things.
throws me off, and there's a chance that this isn't concrete, this is just, like, a flat
Yeah,
gray steel, right? Like, or,
yeah. That could be steel
um
or just painted aluminum, or you know what I mean. Like there's
yeah,
so many
it's hard
different
to
things.
tell. The doors and things, though, like, it gives me a reserve feel, too, like, especially with a rework to reserve. I mean, I have no doubt that I'm probably wrong, I usually am with a lot of these things, but this does feel ship-like. I don't disagree with that because, like you said, the floor, the doors, like, there's a lot of things that point towards ship. That's also why I'm kinda thinking terminal because it fits with the theme of terminal, you know? It could
Right.
be, like, just one of the underground buildings or areas on terminal, and it just has this look and feel because that's the materials they had left over to build with or something. I don't know, but these do look like ship hull doors, like big, thick, protective
Yeah.
doors. But you get a semblance of this on reserve as of right now, like to a degree. You get like some major major heavy duty doors that have some pretty gnarly locks. I don't know. I Jesus. I want it to be reserved because I want reserve to get reworked to a point that I enjoy playing the map. I don't dislike reserve, don't get me wrong, but a rework on reserve also sounds really cool, really interesting, and they have a lot of opportunity because they have a massive amount of underground area they can work with. They've got all the depot stuff and all the areas and things like that. So like I could just see like if they did a complete overhaul on reserve, I could see it coming out looking something like this. But yeah, it's most likely it's terminal, and there's probably a pretty good chance this could be the ship, and the walls just kind of look concrete. And they really only look concrete right here, and it's just because there's no like rivets or anything tying anything together. It's just like concrete wall. But yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
not knowing if this is the final pass, like could still add things to it. Like this could be just something they're not done with. It's just not knowing
that's true
how
too.
far it is in development. It's just you never really know.
That is very true. While it does look like it's mostly done, on the asset side, we don't know, like you said, color and everything else that they could add, darkness, light
Right.
and lighting and all that. Like there's a lot they could still add to this. So yeah, I am curious though. I am very curious. If this is the ship's huge. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Absolutely.
Which it does look massive, which we're about to see soon. Here we have I didn't recognize anything new, but I could be wrong. That butt stock for a second I thought was new, but it's the Daniel Defense. We have that rail foregrip
The magazine is definitely new.
with the tape on it
Yeah. Well, I just don't
because that
think
looks
if
like the
that
M4 mag.
maybe it
Kind of looks
is.
like an AK mag though.
Yeah, it looks.
Looks
Which
like the
if
Magpul
it's a
mag.
300.
That's I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's a 300 blackout, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a
It's
difficult
hard to
one.
tell.
But of
Yeah.
course, yeah, it's just one of those things. If you notice, like the piece of paper right in front of him kind of has like a little explosion on it.
Yeah, yeah, let's finish this. As he reloads, there's an explosion. I was wondering if like maybe they throw a grenade in there, type situation, and it was supposed to be like Chronicles of Rizzy type stuff. But dude just keeps reloading like nothing happens. So I don't know.
Might just be for effect. They might be on the actual footage so zoomed in that you don't see
You just
that,
get a
and you just
little
see,
slice of smoke, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that is an interesting one. That just tells me more Chronicles of Rizzy stuff.
yeah,
I mean, it could be a 1.0 trailer type situation too, like prepare to escape Tarkov, all new trailer, like
yeah.
I don't recognize the rig he has on, but we don't get a good look at it either, so I'm not going to speculate on that. He's wearing just a t-shirt and looks like the dark gray pants maybe, so I don't see any like nothing new that I'm like, "Oh, hey, this." Yeah, I don't know. And then we get a look at the ship. So these are cutouts of the stacked image that we'll see in a second. This is just breaking down room by room by room. You can kind of see on these sides, you see all the portholes and doors and things like that along the windows. And then the
Quick
entryways
question:
here. What up?
do you know where everyone got the term icebreaker from? Because everyone's
Uh,
calling it the icebreaker map. And, like
yeah,
everybody.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know that's the type of ship it is. It is an ice-breaking ship.
Maybe that's it. They're just assuming that okay, since that's the ship, it's just the icebreaker map.
Maybe,
Okay,
maybe there's
I
something
wasn't.
on like in the books or something that refers to
I've
it, but I don't think
looked.
so.
Well, in
Um,
everything they put out, I've looked, and I just couldn't find any official naming. So I just didn't know if they had actually put out
yeah.
official like this is icebreaker map.
They might just
That's
be calling it that
more
because
or
of
less.
what the ship is, yeah.
Okay, okay, makes sense.
But yeah, we get a look at some of the more rooms, and there's a bunch of them. If each one of these is a different large area that we just saw, like coming through the hallway in, like that's a pretty substantial sized room. And it looks like there's multiple entryways into various parts of the different areas too. Which I guess, I mean, depending on how big this ship actually is, right? Like you could absolutely have a depot on the ship. You could have a spot where you're working on trucks and this, that, and the other because you have carriers to get it off the ship. Like that's entirely possible.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of these rooms kind of have like that look to them, I guess, to a degree. but I don't think that's the case. I'll be surprised if it is. I will say that much. Like, I'll be genuinely surprised if we walk in here and it's that large that they have depots and shit inside it. And if that's the case, awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, we'll see. Then we have, I think, pretty accurately the Battle Pass Season 1 drop.
Yep.
I think this is the logo for that,
This is
which
going to be
looks
the 1.0
absolutely
that,
insane.
and just get ready because you know what happens when they drop this. Everyone's going to throw a fit
Oh,
because
yeah.
this is going to be a paid battle pass. This is going to cost money. We got the first one for free. They specified they were giving it away for free, meaning the next ones were going to be charged. So
Yeah. There's a
everybody
chance.
get
There's a
prepared.
small chance that they're still free, but I don't think that's going to be
I
the case
think,
either. I think it
yeah,
might be a cheaper cost. I think it might be, compared to some other battle passes out there, I think it'll be relatively cheap. Potentially. I could be wrong.
one of the devs who was working on it, I watched a behind the scenes thing and when they were working on it, and they were like interviewing him, and he said, "Yeah, we wanted to make the first one free," and he kind of let it slip. So I was like, "Oh,
Oh, okay.
want
Yep.
to make the first one free, huh?" So yeah, that tells
Lock it
me
in,
that
boys. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and
Get
let's
ready.
be honest, the amount of gear and rewards and value you get from the battle pass, like, just unlocking crates, you get new cosmetic items, you
Yeah,
get the face
yeah. There's a
masks,
lot
you
of
get the
stuff.
face covers, you get all kinds of different shit from it. And eventually we'll have those camos and paints over on base game, so it's not all for naught. Um,
Well,
and the
and their middle
utilization
ground,
between
their middle ground about it was they were going to leave the old ones up, so it's not like
right,
you
you can
lose
always go back
access
and get
to
it
it.
done.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you buy it, you have pretty much forever to actually do it. It's not like you're going to lose access.
Yeah,
Other battle passes, like they rush you. You get them, and you
yeah.
have to get through them before a
2
certain
months, get
time.
it done, on to the next
Right.
one. Yeah. But yeah,
At least
this
that was early talk. Things could change. This is when the first one was coming out. Is when all this was said.
yeah. And I mean, there's so much utility between ref and base game. I mean, adding in the battle pass on top of that just gives you a little bit more value. I don't think it's egregious for them to say, "Hey, here's the battle pass. It's $10 for, whatever." I think it's
Well, they
fair.
know they know that Tarkov is a game that once you buy it,
You're done.
you've paid for it.
Yeah, you
They're
don't.
not making any more money off of Tarkov. So Arena was supposed to be that income that continues for the game.
Yeah,
So when it wasn't instantly super popular, they're like, okay, what can we do? Let's make people have to play Arena, basically. You know what I mean? Like if they want some really cool stuff, they have to
right.
give an incentive for people to
Go
play
over
it,
and
for
play it.
people
Yeah.
to, yeah, they got to make money. Like the company has to have funds to not only finish what we're already playing, but to have new content, to have new games. Like there has to be a funding source. So it's like
Right.
anybody who gets mad over this, it's just the way it goes in gaming. They have to have a funding source. So I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah.
they've been very good about picking and choosing what things to fund. And yeah, there's been mistakes, but I also feel like they've been very good about it compared to a lot. We've all went over that before. You
Yeah.
guys know how we
Yeah.
feel about everything, so I'm not going to get into it, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, I do too. I am on board with it. I am the type of player that when I find a game that I genuinely enjoy, I don't have an issue with putting money into it. I put 4,000 plus hours into Tarkov. I can see another 8 to 12,000 plus, like I
Yeah.
Tarkov is a game that I'm going to put my time into. They don't harass me for money every week. They're not saying, "Oh, buy this battle pass. Oh, you have to buy this weapon skin. Oh, you have to have this weapon kit to do this." Like they're not,
Yeah.
buy the battle
New
pass and then
season.
buy a bunch of shit to get it done, and then a new season, like. And if they have one pay to win, if they have one paid mechanic that's over on Arena that's like, hey, you can buy a battle pass. You don't even have to have it, but you can if you want these rewards. It's cosmetic stuff, and for the most part, I don't see a major issue with that. I'm also the same
No.
person that has the maximum amount of stash space that you can have as a Tarkov player. I bought Unheard, I bought the 56 lines of stash space, and even if I didn't need the stash space, I probably still would have bought it because I don't have a lot of ways to support the game studio that I genuinely appreciate and genuinely put all my time into and enjoy. So it's like, why would I not
Well,
want them to have money? Why would I want the funding to ever dry up for BSG when they're putting something out that I put all my time and effort into? You know what I mean?
you you said something there that I think gets looked over a lot. You said I'm a 4,000 hour player. when you compare Tarkov to hours played versus money spent, it's easily the game that I've spent the least amount of money on and got the most amount of
Most
hours.
time played,
Like
yeah.
easily. Yeah,
Easily,
easily.
yeah.
Easily.
Even with me
So it's
buying
like,
everything they put out, like clothing options, I don't buy them all, but I buy the ones I like. I buy the stash space. I buy, I have 2 accounts. I fucking I bought PvE on the other account, I buy the fucking whatever, like I give them the money that I can when they offer the opportunity to do it, especially when it's
right.
things that are just beneficial to the player. They're not doing things that are necessarily beneficial to them other than making the money from it. It's not like they're doing
Well,
anything to change the game or like force mechanics that we don't want or anything like that. It's just like you can buy some cosmetic stuff. You can buy some stash space. So like, yeah, that's fine. And now if
we're
they're offering a way to just, like, give them a monthly donation, in my opinion, $10 a month or $10 every 4 months or whatever it is for the battle pass, like, I'm chill with that. Like, I'm not sweating it at all.
we're we're still playing the same game that we bought in 2020 or
Yeah,
whenever. It's
2019,
like
2018, 20
yeah,
whatever it was,
yeah, it's we're still playing that same game. It's like that can't be said for very many other games or very many other franchises. It's just
You could say Call of Duty,
it's
right? But
unique.
no, it's year to year, 2 games a
Yeah.
year sometimes, like, it's crazy. And
Yeah,
that's just
if
to
you're
keep
still
people
playing
playing, but
if you're still
Tarkov's done
playing the
it
Call of
for a
Duty
decade.
uh, you bought back in 2018, then you're playing pretty empty lobbies by yourself and no new content, no improvements, no patches. Like it's just when you look at it like without any bias, without wanting to hate on the game or wanting to do anything, it's like when you just look at it from a perspective of how gaming is, there's clearly a difference in the way they've done it versus the way
Major.
other big and major studios do it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's it's a huge difference.
big old difference. Well, and it's just they're ne they d the Unheard debacle, and that's, like, everybody's biggest fucking gripe, but I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
bought it day 1, like, I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, new edition for the game, cool." Was it expensive? Yes. It just didn't really affect me that much. It was one of those things, like, they haven't asked me for money in fucking years, it's like it's like, you got a buddy who comes up to you every 5 minutes, "Hey, dude, can I bum a buck? Can I get a dollar? Can I get $10? Can I get $5?" After a few weeks of that, it's like, "Okay, I don't really wanna loan you the money. I don't wanna give you the money." But then, you have that one friend that comes by and he's always helping you out, he's always doing right by you, and then he's like, "Hey, you got 20 bucks?" It's like, "Yeah, dude, all fucking day."
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
my opinion. That's how I feel
You
about it.
feel like it's worth it. Yeah, like there's something in it for both of you. It's continued trust between the two that if you was in that spot, they would do it for you kind of, It's
Right.
not
They've
saying
made
Battle State would
something.
send you money,
No,
but you know
but
what I mean?
if
Like
we
they
were,
give you the game.
yeah, if we were the ones that made this game, like, I would imagine it would be the same scenario, just the other way around. If we had done exactly like, if we swapped it around, I think it would be the same. And I think it's
Right,
fair
yeah.
to, like, hold them accountable, of course. They have done things that the player base has disagreed with, but you also have to look at it from a light of they're a game studio. They have to do what's right for them, but they're also doing as best as possible what's right for us. Like, I don't know. I think they do a
Well,
pretty damn good job at that whole give and take system of like game studio
yeah, they
versus
do.
like they're just creating the game.
Well, and they compromise. Like when the unheard thing did happen, which yes, that's the worst thing that's happened. But you know what? Whenever the backlash happened, they went back to the drawing board, figured things out, and they compromised. So as soon as they dropped it to $50 for Edge of Darkness, and as soon as they included PVE, $50, yeah, I'll take it for $50. You know what I mean? Like no brainer. It just needed some time to, figure out what was fair, what wasn't. They rushed it, but they fixed it.
And yes, we understand that the Edge of Darkness owners were told you're getting all the future DLC, for free. Like it's yours. You already got it. You buy
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
edition,
that
you
was a
get
bad
everything.
move.
That was not a fair move. That was unfair. That
Yeah,
was
that was
not
a bad
right.
move on their part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we recognize that. We hold them accountable for that, but they've also proven to us time and time again that they've done what they can to, make amends for that and make right with the community and the player base.
Yeah, it took
I
them a few days, like I said, but everyone was like, "No, it should be included." You said it, and eventually they did.
yeah.
That's just all it took. All it took was everybody being like, "Hey, the way you said it made it sound like this was going to happen." And
Well, that kind of
just to, well, I just
that,
want to say this about PVE. I don't think they understood how big PVE was to some people.
right,
I think
right,
they thought it was just like a throwaway mode that some people will play when they're bored. Nikita
right.
said it himself. He had no idea. the response to PvE was going to be as big as it's been. Like they didn't plan on doing like separate dev teams for PvE. They didn't plan on doing like
Yeah.
equal game modes, like equal
No.
events. They didn't plan on any of that. This was going to be a standalone game mode that if you was bored, wanted to
Just something
try
to
out
do. Yeah.
something, yeah. So I think that was part of the reason they didn't see it as such a big deal is they didn't realize how many people wanted it. So they
Yeah.
thought, okay, this is just something we can throw in here, to
A little
give
bonus.
people
Yeah.
something. Yeah, and I think that's where it was such a big separation is they didn't realize what they were giving out was something that everybody was wanting. So it kind of just it didn't really land like the way they wanted it to because everyone was seeing it differently. But
Right.
I don't know that who knows.
I mean, it is hard to tell for sure what it is, or what it was, but I
Yeah,
think just track record, and them showing, step after step after step, time after time, that they are here for the community and the player base, and they are willing to work with us. And that's also a big thing to look at and consider too, is that we can complain about what's wrong with the game, and we can complain about the things that we don't agree with that they have done. We'll leave Unheard as what it is and use that as our example. When Unheard happened, we complained about it, and it wasn't just shoved down our throats, and it's like, "Oh, well, you don't like it, fuck you." They
right.
worked with us, and they considered the
Yeah,
player base, and they were like, "You know what? We did fuck up. That's our fault."
yep. And they
Like,
changed it.
we'll do
That
what we
doesn't
can to
happen
fix
with
it.
big studios.
Yeah, it does
You
not
have
happen. They would
people,
say, "Yeah, well, get used to it. That's how it is. That's what we would have
yeah.
gotten."
It's like so many people have been begging for Call of Duty to go back towards like the older days, like not these crazy skins of just like things that have absolutely nothing to do with military or nothing to do with like, fighting in like a war torn area. Like it's just went so far away from what it used to be. And now it's all about collaborations that they can make
Yeah.
money from like with these, like cartoons and like musicians. And
Yeah,
it's
just
just so
anything
far
that can
away from
grab
what it
cash,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the audience has been begging for them to go back, but you know what? They have not because
You
that money's
don't
too
get it.
good
Yeah.
and they don't care. And now you got Battlefield 6 coming out. What's crazy right now is all the Call of Duty players are hyped about Battlefield 6. All of them are saying
Because
now
it's a
they're going to
return
Battlefield
to the
6.
old stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because it's what they've all been asking COD to do. And since COD didn't do it, Battlefield's like, hey, you know what?
We
Let's
got
do it.
this.
And
Yeah.
it works,
They
It's
want
like,
it, you got
it,
it.
but and one last thing on the whole uh debacle with Unheard. They messed up like I think there's things on, both sides including the community and on Battle State that kind of got blown out of proportion.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
bottom line is they messed up. They should have never made anything that Edge of Darkness people didn't get. You paid $250 basically, or what was $200 for Edge of Darkness?
Yeah, I think so. For just buying it
Like
outright, yeah.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, basically.
150,
And
I think, for once you have base game, I think it's around there, 125, something like that.
yeah, so it ended up being close to like 180, $200, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
So
somewhere around there.
it was kind of put out as the end all
Ultimate
be all.
edition,
This is
yeah, like
all
that
you'll
is
ever
it. Yeah.
need. Yeah, you won't ever have to buy anything else. So that is their fault. They should have never did that. Like they kind of made it seem like this is all you'll ever need and you're going to get everything ever made. So that was like the part they really messed up on, and I will never give them a pass for that. Like they messed up on that.
Yeah.
But like I said, the response is why I'm cool with it because they made it right.
Yeah, they did what they could to fix it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could talk about
And
that all day. We really could. We'll move on though.
well, let's do it.
Yeah. Next we have an in-game item, which is a CD. It has like a marking on the front of it. Yeah, it's got the letter I or something on there. I'm not 100% sure what that actually is.
Yeah, I
But
think it's an
yeah,
I also.
I think it's an IO something, Hey, who knows? But Jesus. This is probably just a new item that we're going to be able to collect, and it's just a new way of picking
Yeah.
up like SAS drives, SSDs, and CDs. You know what I mean? It's just more storage container or more storage type stuff that we pick up. Probably a quest item going to be added to it. Maybe you know what? I'll go out on a limb here. This could potentially go into those cassette players, and this is how you start listening and hearing
Yeah.
things, and who knows what. Um,
We
this
know we're
says
getting
something
that
about it is a it's made to store data with enhanced read and write performance. That's all it says
yeah.
on the thing.
I was going to say we know we're getting that feature where we're able to actually put cassettes into like different places and listen to them. So I
Right.
almost guarantee you that CDs are also coming,
Yeah,
as
it
part of
could be
that feature.
related. It could also not be. It could there's a chance it's just an item that we pick up and then we use, like, to barter with or trade
Yeah,
or, task or whatever, but there's a chance that these can go in those cassettes as well.
yeah,
We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then we have a cool look at a cool MDR.
with a cool
I
sight on it.
That site is awesome, yeah. The site is cool as shit. 7.62 MDR, it's got the SE5 grip, can't tell the muzzle device. I recognize it, but I can't name it. And then a really cool optic on top. I don't think there's anything else too drastic about it.
No,
Is
no,
this
just
the
that's the original handguard. I'm pretty sure.
is this Yeah, this is the MDR, okay. Well, there's the IWI Tavor that looks identical
Yeah,
to
yeah. Basically, yeah, it
but
does
this doesn't
basically look.
have the, fire swap, like, or whenever you swap shoulders on it, it has it on the ejection port. Well, maybe it does have it. This little stopper right
Well,
here, but I don't see where the
and
rounds are
basically, I was gonna say basically,
oh, rounds are ejecting off there, okay.
uh,
It's
all
not the Tavor, it's the
MDRs are
MDR.
like, yeah, all MDRs are pretty customizable. So it could just be further customization. Maybe it has something on it that it's not, because it does look a little different, but maybe it's just not standing out to me what exactly is different. I know that multi-caliber is something, if it does come, the MDR is one that should have that feature.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just a swapped out. Well, of course, I don't know. So
It's so hard
what
to
does the
tell.
308 MDR even swap to?
Right.
Is the 5.56 and the 308 the multi-caliber? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a 300 blackout one coming out, maybe, that
Well,
they're working on,
I
but
thought the 5.56 and the 300 blackout was the
they're the same, yeah.
yeah, was the same body style, and then the
They are,
308 and
yeah.
something
I'm
else
just like,
was also the same. I just don't know
is
what
there
the second
another
caliber is for the. Yeah, even the 7.62 ones say multi-caliber on them.
uh,
So
I'm trying to think of what it could be. I'm not
yeah, I
sure.
really don't know.
Yeah. I I can't remember. There is definitely another caliber, though. If you know, let us know in the comments. We're not too certain, but yeah, 7.62 MDR with some parts on it. Looks clean, looks cool. I like the MDRs. I like the IWI Tavor. I actually knew about the Tavor before I knew about the MDR. Funny enough, even though the IWI is newer.
Do
Um,
you know what that site is?
I was thinking it's the Romeo from base game, one of the Romeo sites or whatever, the 8T or something, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think that
no, that's
is.
a brand new site. That's a brand new
Yeah.
site. Nothing has that design on the side of it in game.
Yeah. The Romeo has the shape, but not that design. It has like this cage around it type
Yeah, it's got
setup,
an
but
outer
it's not the same
cage,
cage unless they just had a bad modeling with the Romeo.
maybe, but
But
yeah,
that looks like a new site.
yeah, I would say that's. I wonder if it's like a enhancement, if that's like a 2x enhancement that you can put on, like, because they've said that that's coming, like the scopes that you can get the
Oh, there's
magnification
words
lenses
right
for.
there. Yeah, yeah.
So that could be a cup like that has a
Yeah,
magnification
that could
on
just
it,
be
because
the
I know they
mount
make
for it.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah, yeah.
flip
I
up
know they
mount or
make those.
something, yeah.
Right.
Can't make out any of the lettering or anything on there. Yeah. 7.62 MDR with potentially a new sight, maybe a new mount for certain sites to add on the magnifying lenses, but yeah, I don't notice anything else on that. We'll keep going. And then we have getting into what has the biggest uproar right now is whatever the fuck this is. Um, I'm pretty sure it's potato salad.
Yeah,
Just saying. That's
might
where I'm
be,
at with
might
it.
be.
But no, it does have some curious ads here. Like these all this stuff kind of relates to Lighthouse, the coastline on Lighthouse. Like, you get a lot of the same wood according to Very Bad Scav and these connexes as well as these docks and things like that.
That looks
So
exactly like it. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, it does. That looks
it
exactly
does.
like when you come over the hill
Big
from
Rock,
the
Little
main
Rock.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and they've got the connexes down there. Like, it
Which they
does
may
look very
even
similar.
it looks like they might have added a fence line here, you know what I mean? Like, they may do some things to, like, change it a bit. Um, just to like swap up some of the look of it because we
Well,
don't
but
know what else is being changed on this side. But
do you
the
have a
idea
second theory though?
is, yeah. Let me get this out, and then we'll go into what you think because I like that
No.
idea too. Um, no. So
No.
the idea is Nikita a while back had said one of the options for a lighthouse rework or expansion would be to drain the ocean a bit. And kind of took that as sarcasm at first, like, yeah, like there's just not a lot of room to work with there. But after seeing more and more of these pictures and things, like I think that's the idea we're running with, or at least one of the ideas we're running with, is that this is lighthouse after getting drained a bit. They gooned a bit, drained it out, you know what I mean? And then on the other side of the map, like across the street, I don't know if they'll change anything there. Maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to only add in one additional lane. I think Lighthouse needs more than just a lane added. I think it needs like a serious overhaul.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know what they have planned on the other half of the map. We don't know what they're doing for the chalets and all that stuff, and like the village and things. Like it all needs a little bit of work, but this is a start, I think. If they are doing a lighthouse expansion here and they're taking the coastline and expanding it, widening it out more, adding a bunch of POIs and different ways to block up like terrain and lines of sight, it could very well work out just fine. And that seems to be what people are running with because of the assets. These docks, connexes, and lumber are very specific to Lighthouse. Very Bad Scav did a video on it. He also did one today, which would be Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it is today. He put one out, so he has 2 videos out, recent videos, discussing what it all is, and that seems to be one of the running ideas. Is this is Lighthouse as it's been drained, a little bit of rework to it, and then the other thought, which is kind of cool, and I actually like the idea. Go ahead.
Well, just to say on that real quick, when the idea was brought up of expanding Lighthouse during a Tarkov live stream, Nikita actually read the question off of what about draining the ocean, and he said no. He said no, that's not possible. He
Yeah,
said
it's just
that he
not
said because if
feasible
we,
because you'd have
he
to do
said
it
it
everywhere
well,
else.
yeah, he said if we done it there, we'd have to do it everywhere else just to like completely line up with the game. But I get that, but I don't completely agree with him because you could basically rework certain parts to make like kind of the floor of the ocean deeper in certain parts, which would kind of draw back on the coast. So I don't understand why he said that. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not possible. He could have just been trying to, people could have guessed it. And he's like, oh shoot, they guessed it. I'm gonna
Fuck,
have to
they
lie
got
and
it.
say no.
They got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just putting that out there, that is there. He did say
Yeah.
no, but it didn't really make sense for the reason. Like it kind of did, but
Right.
not 100%. Like they could
Yeah.
easily change that. But the other thing is, if you look at it, it kind of looks like the section on Shoreline when you go to the extract. It's a newer extract. This like the railroad extract that is on the road that takes you to Road to
Road to
Customs
Customs.
extract.
Yeah. The back or the
Yeah,
front right side of the map, all the way to the right side, over on the right hand side of terminal.
yeah. Basically, there's always been a couple stashes back there, and that's the only reason I would ever go back there. But now there's an actual extract back there, and there's a railroad that runs back through there. There's a bridge that runs back through there, and there's also more buildings that are back through there, which are like further away from
Yeah.
terminal than where actual terminal is. And it's pretty well detailed, so it's always been thought that something was going to be there. They're like it seemed like they had put more work into it than they normally do other just backgrounds. So it
Right.
seemed like there was something originally planned for that. And it looks very similar to that.
It does kind of
And
fit in. If you look at the top of the image, this would be
yeah,
where the spawn area is essentially. You would walk down the wood line from there, and there's a creek that runs through here, always
yeah,
has. But if they
yeah.
expand it out and open up the water to be traversed, and all this, that kind of changes it a bit. That does open it up and make it playable. It is a small section of shoreline, so that I would assume they would have to kind of like expand it a bit and make it wider. But we don't know what terminal is going to do to shoreline. There's a few things that we
Well,
don't
that's
know.
the other
So
thing. It's like it kind of makes sense in if you're going to put terminal there and you want to make terminal a bit bigger, is actually having, different ways to enter instead of just because right now
right,
the only
right.
thing we
It's
know
the
is
gate.
Yeah, and that would be kind of weird if there's only one way to get in. It just
It's
Tarkov
a
is
camp
not like
fest.
that with
Yeah, it's not
things.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, and it just it's unknown what terminal's going to be because we've heard rumors of it only being single player. We've heard rumors of, it actually being like just a story, like for the story part of the game, it's single
Yeah.
player, but then it's going to be open for actual multiplayer too. So
Right. Once you
we don't
finish
really
it, you can
know.
get into the multiplayer side of it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were told it was also going to be like the bear location, kind of like the
Yeah. The
USEX or
the
the
rogue.
rogues on
Yeah.
Lighthouse. This was going to be the bear equivalent on
Which Shoreline would
Terminal.
make
So it's
sense
like
because they were tasked with overwatching the resort while Terror Group had their people in there. So it
exactly, and
fits on
but
Shoreline
it would make absolutely no sense to have bears
and
guarding,
rogues.
yeah, a single player map. It's like it just
It doesn't add up.
what are you gonna? Yeah, it just doesn't fit with the way Tarkov is. I mean, if they did it that way, I guess they could. I don't see why they would. It's like if it's going to be in a single player campaign, I just don't understand how that fits in with Shoreline because you're going to have multiplayer. You're going to have tons of different people there. How do you only let one person get in? Or I don't know. It just doesn't
Right.
really
Right.
add up.
Right.
Um, So yeah, there's a lot of questions there. I know we've seen a cutscene a while back where a crane fell and it kind of busted open the gate on one side, like on the far
Yeah.
left and left side.
That's true.
So is it going to be permanently open? Like, but anyways, all I was getting at is this could be like another entrance in the terminal if they
Yeah.
open that up
Expand that
there,
far side of Shoreline. Open that up a
right? And
good
that
bit. Yeah, I can
it
see it.
makes terminal more of a map instead of just a port because as of right now it's just a port, and
Right.
it's
Well,
like
here's
go ahead.
is so terminal is just going to be connected to Shoreline, and you just transit essentially into terminal. Um, it wouldn't make sense to not expand it. I mean, to have one entrance in, like you said, it that seems bad. They almost if they are going to make it to where you have to be on Shoreline and you transit in, you almost have to open it up to where it's more accessible because that sounds like a fucking logistical nightmare for players.
Yeah, unless they just do the one thing that they've kind of hinted at, and you just can't get there unless you're doing like
You
single player story,
right, but
which just
anytime
seems like an awful lot of work and effort to go into something that they're just gonna
midway into
not
the
let.
wipe though, you just have players camping that sitting up on the tree line waiting for players to go over there
Well,
and start transiting
and
in.
but well, here's the other thing. It's like if it's in game, are you saying like no one's even going to be able to go to it because it's supposed to be the final
True,
destination?
true.
Like that's where the hovercraft is. That's your extract. So technically, it's only going to be open for the end of the mission, end of the game when you're getting ready to prestige your character because you're leaving Tarkov.
Right,
So, and I from what I've heard, I take prestiging is going to become that
right.
where
Every time you
you
leave
leave
Tarkov,
Tarkov.
you
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you leave Tarkov, you prestige.
yeah,
So it doesn't make sense to have something that's only going to be used once. It just I don't
yeah. It's weird.
understand.
It's
Like
odd.
it doesn't seem like they put that much time and effort into something that
Right, you
you're
could
only
just
going to
add
go
in
there
a
your
building
last
on a
mission.
map, like you wouldn't even like it that you
That's what
just
I
get a key for, and you can unlock it, and you walk in, and that's where you start your final task. You wouldn't need an entire
yeah,
fucking map area.
right. And that's what
That's
I think more or less it's going to be. It's going to be a certain place on terminal that is like the final destination.
that
You're
could make
you're just not going
sense.
to be able to use that.
Yeah, you have to get a
Yeah, I just don't think
specific
you'll be able to
lab
use it.
style key, like a key card that opens and lets you in. Kind of like in base game, or sorry, base game. Kind of like in the movie, the Raid movie. They can't even get in the door to terminal unless they have A, the right passcode, and B, the item that Terror Group wants. So that might be
Right.
part of it too. Like our way out is how the movie goes, and we have to get that specific container, or maybe not even the container, but the what's inside of the container, and get that to Terra Group, and that's how they let us into that last area, that last room where we can get onto the ship and the hover boat and do all these things.
Well, like I said, they showed that cutscene that one time that was like live action, but it was in game, but it was like a cutscene. It was cutscene in game,
Yeah, yeah,
in game models, but they were doing things that we can't do in game. It was like animated because they were
right,
moving in ways we can't move and things, but
yeah,
it was in game rendered, and it was showing a big attack on the outside of terminal, and
yeah,
basically explosions going off on the inside, the crane falling down and opening up the wall. Um, and that was the same time we were getting we got something new, and I thought it was tied to that. Oh, it
RPG
was the mortars. It was mortars.
or mortars, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was mortars. So it was like they were mortaring the inside, and that's how they knocked the crane over was with mortars, and then it knocked the wall. So it's like I don't know. There's so much around it that just doesn't quite add up yet, which I
Yeah.
guess is good because
Yeah, this is what we
we
want.
do
We want speculation. We want to have to guess and wonder and be
exactly.
surprised when 1.0 hits.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta have
Um,
some things that we just don't know yet.
yeah.
It's
This could be a
gotta
lighthouse
surprise us.
expansion. This could be a shoreline expansion. They both fit. They're both on the same coast. So I would just kind of wait and see on that one. It does fit the shoreline idea, and I do like that idea because it makes sense. The lighthouse expansion makes sense because it needs it, where shoreline makes sense because it fits with the story.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the only thing with the lighthouse, I just don't know if draining the coast would be enough.
I don't think it is because
Yeah,
you still have the
because
majority of the map over on the main side. You have that
well, and
one route that's actually worth anything.
you can't put anything there. You can't put trees
No,
there because it's been
it's
watered. You
been
can't put
underwater. Yeah,
buildings there. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
the only thing you could put there was maybe like a bunker or like some like ships that have been sunk and like there's some old ships to like walk on
Even
and
those are just like they're going to be limited. It feels like there's not. I don't know. It's a
yeah, it
weird
just
one.
doesn't seem like it's not going to open up the map enough where there's like a new way to traverse. It's just going to be
Unless we're
additional
getting a
things
whole
on
map
the coast.
overhaul, and this is just an addition to it. You know what I mean? That could
Oh,
be a potential.
that's possible too.
But yeah, moving on, we have the last thing, which is that breakdown of all those rooms on the ship, kind of being squished together. The ship is massive, like I said. There's this whole underground, or not underground, but the base layer of it is sprawling. It is huge. You have the top side of the ship that you can walk around, I would imagine, and then you have at minimum one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 layers, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 layers, yeah. And then if you count the bottom layer, the very bottom layer, 8 layers. Then if you count the outside, 9 layers.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, like just looking at this far left image of it, it is huge. Like, look how big this is. This is insanely massive. And then there's another look at just the icebreaker ship, I guess is what we're calling it. I do believe the name of the ship is Borealis, but I could be wrong. That was told to me in the comments, so I'm, take it with a grain of salt. I think that is the name of the ship, though, is the Borealis, but we will see. But yeah, this is just more looks at the ship. Like, this thing is absolutely massive. I'm genuinely excited to get on here and see how big it actually is. Like, just is it looks huge in the concept art. It looks massive in these images, but getting in game and actually seeing it at scale, that's when you can really tell. So it's kind of hard to tell, but this, let's say for instance that it is in line with how big a ship should be compared to our PMC, right? Like, it is going to be one of the largest enclosed areas of doors and hallways and confusing shit to loot through and look through and figure out. I'm genuinely excited to just start learning it because it's new. We haven't had something new like this with this much interaction in a very long time. Streets and Ground Zero, yeah, but like this is a little bit different. This is like they're adding resort, like a new resort to me. This is what it
Or
feels like.
it's gonna be like a bunch of labyrinths stuck on top of each other,
Yeah,
basically. Kind
that's
of
possible too. Yeah.
like labyrinth was times 10.
Yeah, it's just the potential here is massive. Like, it could go so many different ways. It could end up being a relatively small ship and it's underwhelming, but I don't think that doesn't seem like the BSG way in my opinion. I feel like they try to do as much as they possibly can.
Well, it depends on what they're doing with it, what it's used
Right.
for. If
Yeah.
it's really used for what we're about to talk about, then yes, I could see it being huge. I could see it being like almost the same as terminal, this kind of
Right.
being like
Right.
the second option.
Yeah. Speaking of second options, since we have finished this, let's go ahead and get into our second option. So I grabbed this screenshot today. This is the quote unquote second option that we are talking about. So a leaker in the BSG studio, or at least that's what we were told to believe here, showed an image of Very Bad Scav, Icebreaker is alternate escape route from Tarkov. He posted this video today. I want to make sure he gets his credit. Um, I went and grabbed it because he had a good clean screenshot of this. So here's the concept art on the right that we got. And it shows, the quads rolling up and all this stuff, and there's the massive ship. And then we have this image on the left, which was uploaded from a guy who claims to be a Tarkov leaker. That works for BSG and is saying that he. Do you have it handy?
He was playing. He was basically beta testing the game, the single player mission campaign, and he was saying like, I'm walking up to the final location where I'm going to do the Lightkeeper extract, the Lightkeeper escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
Lightkeeper's version.
Yeah, he said
Basically,
he's finishing the
skipping
overseer
terminal.
task line. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we were always told that Lightkeeper was going to have like
An
his
option.
own
Yeah.
way of escaping. Like he had enough connections, enough pull. Like that was part of the lore, is that he could pretty much get you out of Tarkov. So that makes sense coming, from what we know about that.
Here it is. I have it. The
Okay.
text that was on the video says, "I'm going through the last level of the story campaign, and then I'll go watch the ending of the Overseer, which we know is Lightkeeper. How is your evening going?" And then the picture was posted with that.
A couple things about the picture.
Yeah.
It could be faked.
Yes.
This 100% could be faked. This was leaked after Nikita had already posted his picture. So yeah, it could be someone just messing around. The reason that I believe it's not is because Very Bad Scav laid out that this guy has leaked things in the past and been
multiple
correct.
accurate things. Yeah.
Yeah, it was taken down, so somebody said get rid of that.
He posted it and it instantly had to get taken down. He posted it on Telegram, by the way.
Yeah, so it's something that has that believability behind it, to where I think it's more leaning towards that it's real than not real.
Right.
And just
if it wasn't real,
story-wise,
there would be no issue with it being up. They would just be like, "Yeah, whatever, go ahead."
Yeah.
Like that's
well,
stupid.
and story-wise, it just makes sense.
It adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, Nikita himself has said there's be multiple endings, and like we said, the lore says Lightkeeper's one of those people who can do anything, including.
Oh shit! Are these cultists on the quads?
It looks like it, or it could just
looks
be
like cultists.
because
They could be
it's snowing.
overly geared, right?
Yeah, well, it could be because it's snowing. Like everyone's just got like hoods and like as much clothing as they can. Because
it looks like cultist jackets, though.
It does.
Which would be cool as
fuck.
Could be. If we have to clear a fucking ship full of cultists, dude, that would be gnarly.
Well, I don't think that would be it. I almost think like you would be working with the cultists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like that's who you would pay to get you there. Would be you pay Lightkeeper to hire the cultist to take you to this place that they know to escape Tarkov, and then what I would guess would be
some sort
it's
of
going to be a lot of. I think it's going to be a lot of puzzles. That's why I said like Labyrinth. I think it's going to be similar to Labyrinth. I think there's going to be.
I can see some puzzles.
I think there's going to be a super boss that is made to patrol that place, made to guard that place. It's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be one of those things like it's an option, but it's going to be so hard. It's like it's not an easy way out. It's like you can take that way, but you're you're risking a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of traps, a lot of puzzles, something that's going to take a lot of time. I feel like maybe each level is going to get progressively harder.
Yeah. On top of a boss. Plus, a bunch of different enemy types and like all that good stuff that you can come to expect from a Tarkov super boss type, end of game situation, if you can imagine it. But yeah, this was forced to be taken down. It was not allowed to be left up. The leaker is pretty known for being accurate, so I would think that this is accurate. I have no issue showing you guys this, so I think it's
Well, and someone else had also commented that this guy was. They said this guy is not just a data miner / leaker / insider. This is an employee of Battlestate Games, and that basically that's how he has access to this, because he's leaking it from inside the dev team.
Yeah.
So that seems weird. It could just be like companies do, where they do fake leaks for promo.
Right.
Yeah.
Get the buzz out, get people talking.
It's weird that it was right after Nikita did it. So it was like, it just coincides with that. Like Nikita posted this, hey, a couple days later, you show what you're actually doing there, get some
Right.
buzz going about it. So it's like it seems real. It seems legit.
It does. It does seem legit. Um, Definitely pretty cool. If this is an option for like a last mission, just the idea of having alternate endings is pretty cool. Um, yeah, I mean, and if this this would fit more in line, I don't know. The snow side of it throws me off, but who knows how we get there and where it's actually at. So I was originally thinking this was going to be attached to terminal, like to a degree, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is somewhere else, and I think we're like you said, the cultists know a spot, and they're the ones that take us there.
Yeah.
Um, maybe that's how we end up on that bus. Maybe that's how we get on the bus. We drive up to a spot, we hop out, we go, through this area on quads with the cultists, and then we're in the boat. Who knows? It's hard to tell. It is interesting. It is cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. But after that, we have a couple more things to talk about. One of these things right here is really fucking cool. We have
Yeah.
the AS Val Mod 4. This completely transforms the AS Val. It makes it still a gun that jams like crazy. Still a gun that has limited range because of the damage fall off because of subsonic ammo. But it's still also the AS Val, which is an extremely deadly, just completely lethal firearm that I love to use at that close to mid range. There's almost nothing
Yeah.
better than 9x39. This gun, in the VSS, obviously, they are underutilized in my opinion. I think that players don't give them enough respect when they should. You can absolutely do a little bit of sniping with them. You just have to, aim up a little bit for it. You have to plan for, your ranges. But like I said, the close to mid range is where this thing shines, and it obliterates people. I love this gun, and this mod for it.
Yeah.
I mean, this makes it way more usable than before. You can actually put whatever buttstock you want and pistol grip, along with whatever
Yeah.
mods you want on for optic, handguard, or foregrip, laser, and who knows what we can do with the suppressor now. If that's just a barrel or if that is the suppressor still, we don't know. It looks like it's a barrel because I see a compensator at the
Yeah,
end,
it
it
looks like
seems.
a barrel that now you're and that alone should improve
A
some of
lot of the
the
usability.
shortcomings.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That should improve the cooling because, that suppressor is why it overheats so bad. And that barrel being longer now should help your MOA where it's going to be a tighter shot at longer distances. So this could be huge for this gun. And it's a complete like body kit basically is
Yeah.
what I would
Yeah.
call it for the
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah. I mean, it opens up to a fully modular gun now. Like it is
Yeah, it
completely
changes the gun
reworkable.
out.
Yeah.
And having a AS Val with a optional suppressor is awesome
Yeah.
because
That's
it's like
huge. That
the
is huge.
choice where you could shoot an AS Val with no suppressor or just put a, much better suppressor that doesn't overheat every 2 seconds. That's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, that changes the AS valve immensely. And depending if
Yeah.
it goes to a barrel that's a longer barrel, that means, a little bit better accuracy and stuff like that. So it could potentially completely change the AS valve. I think it will completely change the AS valve, and I think it's a major need for the AS valve. Like I
Well,
love that gun, and it needs the love and support that it can get. So
like you said, it's like 9x39 is very underused. They've put a couple guns in as of the last few wipes, the 9A,
yeah,
91,
the
and
the
the
VSK 94
yeah,
or whatever it
VSK
is.
94. They put those in as cheaper options, which
Right.
gives you earlier access to it. And I've been noticing this wipe, it's like you can get the suppressed VSK on level 2 prapper, and you can buy SP5. It's like that right
Yeah, you
there's a
can get
killer
SP5.
combo right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
like,
people don't have
but
armor, like, crazy good armor too much. We are getting to that
right,
point, but it's still
but
completely viable.
yeah, the
SP6 is pretty common
reason.
too, dude. I have found a decent amount of SP6.
Well, the reason I think it gets underutilized is because yes, you find it laying around, but it's like you only find it in boxes of 20. You don't find it in
Right.
boxes of
It takes
like
some yeah, it
50,
takes a bit of
100,
grinding.
120. Yeah, so but loose ammo wise, there is a bunch of it out there. The SPP, the
SPP, SP5s.
SP5, 6. Yeah, it's like there's a good amount out there, but I think it's lack of availability is what's caused like people to not really use it.
Yeah. Which I have been seeing more and more people using it with this wipe, with the flesh being more of
Yeah,
a
it
easy
has
it's easier to kill with flesh shots. So
yeah.
it's being more used, but,
It's
I
one of the
think
best
a
early
lot of things are.
options. suppressor, 20 round mag, high damage bullet. I mean, it's one of the best options to get right now, like from Prapper.
Yeah, it's insane. After that, we have the Community Digest 5. Not anything too crazy in here to go over. Um, the 2025 summer discounts, which is coming to a close. The hardcore wipe started. Sick. Upcoming for the August patch 16.9, we know we have an in-game event. We have balancing changes and quality of life improvements. We have shoreline and ground zero optimization, which the shoreline optimization also falls in line with the idea of shoreline getting the expansion. Anyways, it also just needs it, right? But whatever. You have EFT, you have Tarkov base game PvE mode and EFT arena synchronization, so that'll be coming very soon. You'll be able to start utilizing ref on PvE, which is pretty cool. And then we have the introduction of the fall weather season. I don't think we're too far from this at all. I think this is like a week or two away. I think this might even be around the end of August, probably. Obviously, it's in August, so we're only a week or two away, right? We're already in August
You
4th
know,
or something.
you
3rd.
know something I've noticed. They
Hot dogs?
changed something again.
The
No, I
in-game
didn't see
event?
them. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does not
it
have the
doesn't have the
cultist symbol
cultist
beside
symbol.
it.
Which I think they were leaking. I think they were just giving hints and ideas. I don't think it's like, oh, we're not doing
Well,
that now. I think
also
it's just
this
like,
is a
because they
different
did that
this
with
is
the
a different
lighthouse rework.
format.
They did that with the reserve rework. They took
Well, and
both
this
of
is
those
just a different
away and just said
format.
they're
This
optimizing them.
is this is not the roadmap. This just has the same symbol in front of everything. I think this is just
Yeah,
laying
this is just
out
the
like
community digest. This is like the plan for
right.
the month.
The roadmap still has it there, and until that changes, I'm not convinced that it's any different.
Yeah, and I think with things that have been changed or taken down, I think that's just them. I think with some of it, it's like we're just letting them know this is happening. It's not something we have to talk about constantly. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because like the lighthouse rework got taken down, the reserve rework got taken down. But I also think those are things that they're still doing. I just think that they're not like openly advertising
Yeah,
that
and
they are doing them.
the event thing was always weird because there was only one event that ever had the cultist symbol in front of it, and we had
Right, and it
plenty
was
of
that one.
other events on the roadmap that were just plain. And it's like we had one that just had a specific cultist symbol, and now that one that had it is not showing it right there. But like I said, that could just be due to this is not the roadmap, this is Community Digest, so
Right.
it's just a different format. Nothing's changed. It's just showing it in a different light.
And then we have EFT Arena patch 0.3.3. We're gonna have weapon content, W tasks, probably weapon specific tasks.
Yeah, weapon specific
Like
task.
X kills with the M4, X kills with AK, X kills with the SM9 or SM3 or whatever the fuck. And then we'll have the 16.7 for patch 16.7 PvE and EFT arena synchronization. Wait, no. EFT patch
No,
16.7
yeah.
and EFT arena synchronization. So it'll bring it more
Yeah,
current with
basically
the armor system and
the
things like
last
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the last one we just got
Yeah,
this
the
wipe we're
big
playing right
change
now,
patch. Yeah.
that stuff coming to Arena.
Yeah. And then we have EFT PvE and EFT arena synchronization and quality of life improvements. So just a little more arena tweaking and changing some stuff up. The Arena Series Cup number 4 just finished up. The champions of that were, over here on the right. I don't XPA took it. I don't know who that is. Oh, XP Academy. Pretty cool. Congrats to you guys. Good job. You did good. And then we have, the new outfits. USEC Day Off. They're on the website. You can go get them over there. And then we have the 2025 events. PAX West, Seattle, Washington. Tokyo Game Show 2025. Paris Games Week. And G-Star in Korea. So, if you're in those areas, go check them out. They seem like fun. Should be a pretty good time. After that, I just have a couple things I just want to show you guys because they're just fucking funny and or cool. The first one is on the side of cool and funny. There's a game out. It's called I'm Not a Human. And this is BSG's response to because it's kind of a not super well known game. Like it's pretty popular, but it's not like it's taken over the world or anything.
Yeah,
But
you're
just
not
to
gonna
see
see it everywhere.
BSG pay homage to it and be like, oh hey, look, we like this shit too. It was just kind of cool. In my opinion, I thought it was interesting. So here it is. It's so good. Oh, I got a kick out of that. Yeah, the idea between I'm not a human is you're in a house, your neighbor comes over, he's like, "Hey, shit's getting wild. They're shutting down. You're not supposed to leave your house during the night. Like, don't let anybody in at night, this, that, or the other." Like, if they're, there's this weird shit happening. There's these non-humans that are here. And then you have people will come and knock on your door. And each night the CDC will give you like, "Oh, we have a breaking development on this." They, look for, not overly white, look for people with overly white teeth, like as white as it comes. Look for people that, have cross eyes or really dirty or whatever. They'll give you like hints as to what you're looking for. So night by night, as more people show up, you kind of, you're able to progress and figure it out. And you find out there's a serial killer. Serial killer comes about and asks if you're alone. If you say you're alone, he's like, "Oh, let me come in with you," blah, blah, blah. And then he kills you. You're supposed to be able to recognize that he is the serial killer, and you turn him away. You say, "I'm not alone." But yeah, just really funny, really cool. The game itself, I'm Not a Human, is actually kind of fun to play. It's really interesting. It's just goofy. It's short. But again, BSG doing a meme to it is funny to me because I didn't expect it. And then after that, we have a look at the RPD ASMR. Those clicks. Oh, it just tickles my soul. I love the ASMR videos that BSG puts out.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool.
They are good, and then, just seeing the modularity of the RPD as usual is always nice. That's one of the
Well,
guns that
I
like
love
I'd
it.
like to see more put to it.
I love it because of the people that are always coming like BSG doesn't really know anything about guns. It's like,
Right. Yeah,
okay, man, sure they don't. Sure they don't.
it's only a requirement, it's only a
Yeah,
major part of the
yeah.
design and aspect of the studio, and
It's
yeah.
weird, but I still see that every time. If they really like guns the way they say they do, they'd know this doesn't do this or this doesn't do this.
Yeah, it's
It's like,
like
all right, sure, buddy, sure. I'm
yeah.
sure you got a wall with like 4 guns at your house, and you're like, oh, I'm an
Yeah.
expert. You know what I mean?
I know everything. Yeah. 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 Dude, BSG are gun nuts. We all know this by now. Like,
Obviously,
they
obviously,
fucking love them.
yeah,
And that's the thing about BSG too, is like they keep everything as fully functional as possible, but they also still go with the rule of cool, right? Like they're like, well, if it works in the game, that's fine. Sure, it may not be
right,
100% accurate to like a perfect T, but it's more accurate than any other game studio is ever gonna do. Like
yeah,
maybe not any other game studio, but like your CODs and Battlefields and things like that, they don't go to the depth that BSG goes to
yeah.
to
For
make sure that the
this
guns are accurate and working, and like they break down each individual part for they go above
type
and
of
beyond.
game, this is the most depth that I believe we've ever had for a
Yeah.
multiplayer type shooter. Yeah, this is the like yeah, there's been some great single player and the Arma series does very good, but this customization is nowhere near as much and some of the other, like actual like realistic like war games, some of those are decent, but it's nothing goes to this level. Just nothing.
No, not at all. Not even close. Um, that's everything on the Twitter side, but since we have been playing the hardcore wipe, especially the more we play the hardcore wipe, what are your thoughts on cheating right now? I know we were playing last night and we ran into a situation. I know
We
just running
did. We
solo,
did.
we've both had some interactions. And then, there's been a handfuls of suspect situations going on. Just looking at player profiles after deaths and stuff like that, and then just the way we die in certain ways. Do you think that cheating is worse this wipe? Do you think it's still, on a decline or not necessarily a decline, but still kind of like sitting stagnant? It's just you're seeing it more and more. Like we played PvE all last wipe, so we couldn't really speak on it too much. But now that we're back in PvP and we're seeing it with our own eyes, it's a little easier to justifiably say this way or the other.
Well, it's like if you remember last week, we did start on PvP and we did like all the original like Christmas stuff. I think I played up to like level 27 or 28 last wipe.
Yeah,
So I'm actually less I was actually further in last wipe than I am this wipe. But even saying all that, it's like I would put it at normal.
yeah, I
I
don't think
don't
it's
see anything that dramatically shifts one way or the other.
no.
Um I've only seen two, like, for sure, like, 99% positive, like, those were cheaters. I've only seen 2 of
Right.
those in all my raids. I have maybe 5 ones that I'm, like, really suspect on, but, like, for sure, I've seen 2, and, I haven't done a ton of raids. I've only done, like, maybe 50 raids, so it's, like, it's not a huge sample size. I was sick, so I
Right.
didn't play, like, a whole week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So but from what I have, seen, it's about average. It's about
Yeah.
normal.
I run into some scenarios that feel very suspect, but with desync and peaker's advantage and things like that, you can't always be 100% certain. Which it kind of makes me want to again just mention and push for that replay cam that we're getting with 1.0 or near 1.0. We're gonna get some sort of replay feature. At least I do believe that's still on task or on
Yeah, I
track.
think what they had talked about was a like a DVR. Basically, like
Yeah,
after the raid, you can go back and kind of watch from an
view and
overview of
see.
like what
Yeah,
happened. Yeah, but they
which
said
it
it
will
would have to
be
be like
handy.
after raid, and it can only be
Like, in
like
your hideout type situation.
yeah once you're out of the raid. That way,
Yeah.
there's no no way to actually go in and give information to people who
Right,
are still in the raid or
right.
you know what I mean. Like basically, it couldn't be abused.
Yeah. Maybe it even takes a little bit of time, like, for the raid file to show up or something, I don't know. But, yeah,
Yeah.
d d off topic, but, it will help. It helps not only recognize cheaters, but also helps you recognize, like, when you die in those suspect areas, because I probably got I don't know, 8 people roughly that have killed me that I've been like, "Oh, that's suspect. That guy was suspect." Probably 4 of them, maybe 3 or 4 of them that are, like, more than likely cheating, but I can't justifiably say they are, and the other ones were just better gamers type situation, but, like, without a doubt, I have ran into the guy on Woods who knew everything I had in my backpack, like, he knew
Yeah, for
everything I
sure.
had, he knew everything, and he got banned, I have the receipt for that. There was that guy, there was the guy on ground zero with the grenade that killed me, and then he also turned and killed Phantom in a really suspect way. And then there was the guy last night on customs that was shooting us from he killed Phantom on the front side out on the balcony of 3-story dorms, and then he ran back inside and started shooting from the 3rd-story windows. We were all the way at the fence line. I hadn't moved. I was tucked way
Yeah.
in and instantly just starts firing shots at me through trees. If he didn't have tracers, it would have been a little harder to tell they were coming directly at me, but they were aimed directly at me. And then as I repositioned, he kept shooting at me, and it was just like the further away I got, he was still shooting, and it was just making less and less sense. We got behind the hillside, he was still shooting at us.
Well,
We got to the
and that was the
transit, and he
thing.
was still throwing grenades at us. Like he knew exactly where we were. And it
There were
wasn't
3
just
of
me.
us.
There was 3 yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there were 3 of us in 3 different locations, and basically all of us kind of in different sections. But yeah, all of us were still getting shot at. 100%, my line of sight was blocked by some trees. I was peeking around, but doing it very like carefully and slowly to make sure because I already knew something was up. So I wasn't
Yeah.
wanting to just like openly peeking. Even before I could, he was shooting the tree in front of me, directly in
Yep.
front of me. So that was confirmation enough for me. I was like, okay, he
Yeah.
sees me through this tree. That 100% of the like our movement was covered by
Yeah,
the
we were
gunfire, was covered by
1000% covered. Yeah.
yeah. There was no way he would know that we were there,
From
and
that distance
that
away too, you can't hear us moving, even if we're moving
yeah.
loud, and I was not. I
Well,
was, like, creep walking, like, so
even if he's seen some of us out of there, like seen some of us back there, he was directly shooting at all 3 of us when we're all in different locations. And then as
right.
we're running over the hill, he starts
He's
shooting the
still shooting at
hill.
us. Yeah.
yeah, basically you know someone that's doing that, they're locked on to your
To your
player
wire.
image that they
Yeah.
can see. Yeah, they can
Yeah.
see your player image. So he's not seeing the hill in front of us. He's seeing us. That's why he's shooting the hill, because on his radar, he's not looking at the hill. He's looking at our player model and like, oh, maybe I can still hit him.
Right.
Maybe I can still hit him.
Well,
So
and what kind of
that's enough
solo
right there.
player also starts chasing a 3-man, throwing grenades and taking crack shots at him? Like, that's wild play. Even if you're
Well,
not,
and
you're an idiot.
technically,
Like,
yeah, and technically a 4-man at first. Like technically a
right.
4-man at first. When
Yeah.
we run up, he's busy fighting in there already. We're
Yeah, he
hearing
was in the
he's
middle of shit.
running.
That's why we went to the
Yeah,
backside. We were like, yo, it's safe. He's fighting. Like, we're good. We can walk through.
he's running a loud AK.
Yeah.
Nothing but full auto sprays. Like it just there's enough there where I played Tarkov long enough, and it just the signs are apparent that people don't do this unless they're cheating. Like that's cheating.
Yeah, there's
And,
obvious
and I don't
signs.
I don't call it out just on everybody, and that's why I said
No.
I've only ran into 2 this wipe that I can 100% for sure confirm. Like that's a cheater. That was that guy and another guy on Factory that just straight up mowed the whole lobby down,
Right.
anti-gila. I'm trying to do a
Oh, yeah,
quest
I
where
had
he
my
happens
factory
to,
guy too.
yeah, he happens to know exactly where I'm at. Like I've made no noise. I'm waiting to get the drop on him. He just lean peeks the corner, I instant head tap dead. Like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff is like it just makes no
For
sense. So I
certain. Yeah.
know, yeah, I know what that is. But there's been probably maybe 5 or 6 other ones. There might have been cheaters,
A
but I
little
just don't have
suspect, but you
enough.
can't prove it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have enough to call it that 100%. I
Without
know a lot of
knowing
people.
exactly where they were and the angle they had, sometimes it's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
tell. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times you don't
Players can
know.
be cracked.
Yeah, players can be cracked. Players can see things that you didn't see, hear things you didn't hear. Sometimes on one person's screen, like on your game, you're rendering in a little later than he is, like the desync, and then sometimes sounds on, there's sound bugs. Sometimes you're making noises when you shouldn't be, or it's
Right.
there's so many variables. That's why uh, I have such a high requirement to actually call it cheating,
Yeah.
because I've seen so much different variations over the years of, people seeing things differently or just weird things happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not easy. You can't just, I know a lot of people do this, but you can't just say
Call
every
hacks.
death
You can't just
that
say it.
felt a
Yeah.
little weird is, yeah, you can't just like I want to, it feels better if I can blame it on a hack instead of just my skill, but I'm realistic enough to know that that's just not true.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Things
not.
things just
Yeah.
happen, Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the
But are there
guy
a
I
lot
ran
of
into on
cheaters? Yes.
factory, I was set. I spawned in. I went straight into creep mode. I put like full on silent walk. I went to the right. I didn't even leave the spawn zone. I literally went to the right and sat behind some barrels at gate 0, and I was just like, I'm gonna sit here until the raid calms down a little bit. I don't like factory. I'm not a factory enjoyer. It's just not for me. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. It's not what I want to do. I was like, I'll
It's
wait till
chaos.
people die a bit, and then I'll go in when there's less players and just grab up my shit and get out. That was my goal. That was my plan. So I spawn in, I go silent, I move to the right behind some barrels, and I'm tucked. And I hear dude run past or run from somewhere nearby, goes and kills a player, runs to another area, kills a player, runs to another area, kills a player, and then runs right back to my door, opens it up, peeks in, and shoots me in the face with one tap. I hadn't made a
Oh
fucking
yeah,
noise.
I remember that footage. Yeah, I remember the
I
footage you
hadn't made a
showed me. I remember that.
fucking noise, dude. I didn't do anything. You just hear this man running and shooting, and then he comes back and kills me. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. All right, that was cool. And like, I have no doubt that guy was cheating, without a doubt,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah,
Because if I would have probably started moving, he might have came to me first. But knowing that I'm just sitting there, he's like, I'll just get him last. Like it's I don't know. It was weird. It was suspect
yeah.
as
They
fuck.
leave no other explanation on things like that. Like
Right.
there's no other reason. Like
There
yeah,
isn't. But yeah, overall frequency of cheaters, I don't think it's like absurdly high. I don't think it's lower than normal. I think it's just normal. I think it's the normal amount of Tarkov cheaters. You know when I think we are going to have an influx of cheaters, and I think you had mentioned this earlier,
yeah,
was
1.0.
1.0. When 1.0 hits,
Yeah.
I would imagine it's going to be the worst we've ever seen it.
Well,
Unless
it's just like
they're working on
when
this, major cleanup of the anti-cheat and getting into the kernel level anti-cheat and things like that, in which case it'll cut out a lot of it, but we'll still see a pretty immense number of cheaters.
I think it's gonna be like with DayZ. Whenever a cool new server comes out on DayZ that everyone's like happy about and
Right.
everyone's playing, everyone's streaming, first thing they do, they DDoS it where you can't hardly play. It servers crashing all the time, and then they throw every hacker and every kind of cheat they can at the server for like the
Right.
first day or two. And they make it miserable, unplayable. That's what they
There's people
do,
out
and
there
they're
that
gonna
just genuinely
do
enjoy
that.
ruining games and ruining
Yeah,
people's time.
yeah,
There are people
yeah.
that
They have
enjoy ruining
dedicated
your
like
time.
groups of people. That's what their job is. Like they get paid to do that. Like it's been documented. It's a real thing. And
It is.
Tarkov 1.0 is going to have that. Um, one more thing about the cheating, real quick. I do recognize some of the streamers have had it really bad this wipe.
Yeah.
And once again, it's the top streamers,
Well,
specifically Landmark. I've seen a
yeah.
lot. Landmark, when Landmark and Summit and Shroud and all of them get together, it really, really draws them in because they know they have thousands and thousands and thousands of eyes on them. So
Right.
what do? They want to go ruin their day. They want to get some screen time. They want to be able to go in and be like, hey, I killed these guys. I mess with them. And
Well, it's a
Landmark
good
has
way to help
had,
sell cheats too. I mean, you're killing all the best
yeah, it
guys.
is.
You're taking them out. You're posting that on your
Well,
website, and there you go.
Landmark and Fragus specifically have been
Yeah.
playing together over the last few weeks, and they've ran into the this hacker that is basically just flying around. He just flies around
Yeah, I've
like from
seen
side
that.
to side.
Yeah.
Looks like he's lean peeking, but he's flying, and he just basically follows them around and just constantly kills them. Um, yeah, I guess it's something that's been happening a lot. So I do understand there are certain people that are seeing it as like probably the worst ever, but you also have to put into perspective who it is
Right.
and the reason why it's happening. It's not like a universal problem. It's a
It's a pretty one-off
high
subject.
viewer
Yeah.
streamer problem.
Right.
Yeah, if they got a lot of eyes on them, they're getting targeted.
Right. I mean, it does multiple things, right? It hurts their viewership. Probably, it's like, oh well, all he's doing is dying to this cheater. I'm gonna go watch somebody else. That's a potential, side of it. It potentially helps sell cheats because not only do you have all those thousands and thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
eyes watching you do it live and not be banned for it and get away with it over and over and over again, you
Well,
also, you have the footage that you're recording and you're going to use on your website and be like, here, you can kill anybody with this shit. Like, this shit works.
that's what I
Like,
was
you know
gonna
what I
say.
mean?
I don't
So,
know this for a fact, but I can guarantee you they're clipping Landmark's POV and
yeah.
Fragus's POV and posting it on their site that sells the cheese. Like I don't
Yeah,
know that, but I
1000%.
guarantee they
I
do.
don't doubt it. I do not doubt it. Because every time, and that's the thing, I think I was just looking at it on stream the other day. It's so easy to go find Tarkov cheats. You literally just type in those words. And
Oh, dude, you just told him.
yeah, Tarkov cheats is the website. But no, like there's just a long list of cheat providers. And sure, some of them are, better than others, I'd imagine, based off pricing and things like that. But it's just absurd that they're so blatant and in your face. It would be almost ignorant to think that they're not utilizing all those clips and because the internet is what makes these things more and more popular, right? Like the more eyes you get, the better off you are. The more people come into your website, more people come into your shit. And maybe they can't find the website because you're not putting the website name out there. But if they're looking for Landmark's face when they're doing it, it's a little bit different. And I mean that may be a little bit obnoxious and a little far stretch, but I think it's something in that realm.
Well,
Um,
cheating and trolling goes hand in hand too. So a lot of it,
that's true
people
too.
just like to troll, and they're easy targets because Landmark being one of the better players, he has a lot of people who think that that he cheats. A lot of people
Right.
accuse him of it. So their get back is to go in and kill him, or to make them feel better about themselves because he's killed them 1,000 times. They want to go in and get one kill on him, and
Right.
a lot of times though it seems to be the same people. Even Aqua FPS, he has a guy called the Green Goblin that follows him around from raid to raid to raid, and all he does is he throws green smoke grenades and he like shoots at Aqua but never kills him. He'll like just full auto spray behind him like and scare him to death, but he'll never actually hit him. And he follows him from raid to raid to raid. And he plays like
Wild.
music and a theme
Yeah.
song and he'll have conversations with him. Like, but that's what he does. That's what he does in Tarkov. He follows Aqua around. That's what he does. That's all he does. Well, I don't know if that's all he does, but that's all he's known
That's the
for. You know what
majority
I
of
mean?
what
I
he's
get it.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Every time you see him, he's following Aqua around
Yeah.
and he's just Aqua, noticeably gets fed up with it. He tries to play along, but it would get
Yeah, I mean, it's
frustrating,
ruining your raids. It's fucking up your shit.
Yeah.
It's
Well, every
ruining
time
your
he's out in the
stream.
open
It's messing up your
and goes
time.
in,
Like,
Yeah, well, every time he's out in the open and goes and runs, he starts getting shot at, not knowing if it's real or fake. He eventually
Right.
realizes, oh, it's Green Goblin. He's just messing with me. But it's like, yeah, it's
You still
it's
have to decipher
frustrating.
that, and then, who knows if somebody else starts shooting at you, what direction do you run now, It's like, fuck.
But that just shows you how good the cheats are, where he can be in every single raid
Right.
that Aqua is. Every single raid.
Yeah.
At every single place that Aqua's at. Like, it doesn't matter if he where he's at, doesn't matter if he transitions, doesn't matter. He's always there. Like raid after raid after raid after raid after raid. It just shows you like you can really screw with people, and a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff you see are people screwing with streamers, and it makes the problem seem way
Way
bigger
more
than it is,
yeah.
because I'm never going to have that happen. I'm never going to have someone follow me around just throwing,
No.
smoke
Smoke
grenades and
grenades
just trying to mess with me.
or a
Yeah, so
rage
it's like,
hacker trying to kill us, like, yeah, it's just not gonna happen.
just like with anything, you're going to see all these clips way more often than you're going to see just normal raid, because no one's going to complain about a normal raid. No one's going to post, hey, I had a normal raid. They're going to show
Right.
you the crazy extreme stuff.
Yeah.
So be careful about how you look at things. It's understandable to see that stuff and think, wow, there's a lot of cheating going on this way. It's hardcore wipe. No one really wants to play. They just, they always want to get everything for free. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of conclusions you can draw, but personally, I think it's still about the same as it always has been, and I think it
Yeah.
always will remain that. Like you said earlier, I think an influx will come with 1.0. Hopefully, the newer anti cheat they've been working on, hopefully they go kernel level and it just completely upends all the cheap ones.
I was
Like
gonna
maybe there's
say,
still going to be
yeah, if
some
you can
really
clear
good
out
ones
the
that you can
cheap
get.
shit, the
Yeah,
DMA is
yeah,
always gonna be an issue. And until we find
right,
a way to accessibly read the second PC, like, you would have to have some way to detect what monitor inputs are being detected, right? And then to route and figure out where those 2 inputs are going, and then to route and figure out which PC it is the bad one, and then IP or software, not IP, but software ban that or hardware ban that. I mean, like, I don't even know if that's, like, physically possible. I don't know if that's an option. But, like, it's just so hard to deal with. I think DMA cheaters are gonna be an issue, but DMA cheaters are also not the most egregious hackers, right? They're the ones that are usually using it just to look better. Fine, not okay, but whatever. Like, compared to some of the rage hacking going on, if we could just clean up, like, the go to a website, buy a $10 hack, and run
right,
it in
right.
Tarkov, that would
The
be an
access is the
immense
problem.
yeah, that would be huge. That would be big.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll
because
see.
as of right now, there's a ton of cheaters running around with walls, and you'll have no idea. Like, they'll
Right,
never do anything suspicious. Like, yeah, if you end up in a fight with them, you're gonna notice, well, hey, how did he know I was there? But it's like
right.
that whole raid, they can go around and just avoid people because they know where everyone's at, and some people play like that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense
Pick and
if you
choose
want
the
to play like
fights
that.
you
Go play
want. You
P.
see a juicy guy, you
Go
just happen to be around him, like
right. It's like go play PVE if that's what you're going to do. But still,
yeah.
it's like people, a ton of people play like that, and no one ever knows. Um, Hopefully this new anti-cheat though will eliminate people being able, the cheats are going to become so hard to produce, the availability is going to be expensive, and therefore the amount is going to be lowered.
Yeah, if we can
Now
get rid of
that,
just the rage cheaters, I think that's, like, a big part of the yeah, like,
well,
the people
and
that are
that's,
buying, like, the cheap cheats just to do it, and then they don't care, they'll buy a $12 account and do it again, you know what I mean? Like, that's the big issue of cheaters.
yeah, and that's the hope, is that that can happen. But even after that happens, it's always an ongoing issue. It's always a game of cat and mouse. So
Yeah,
eventually,
absolutely.
even with a great kernel level anti cheat, more will end up coming in. But I don't. I think the focus would be is having a kernel level anti cheat would at least ensure that it'll never be as bad as it is right now again. Yeah, it might get a little worse at times, but right now, we all know that Tarkov is very easy to develop cheats for. Tarkov is very easy to just get another account. They supposedly, from what someone is saying, have cheats right now that even if a cheater kills you and you know it's a cheater and you go to report them, they have a way to delete that report before it even gets sent. Like, that
Well, that's
stuff could
sick.
get fixed.
Yeah.
And when it does, that will help a lot. There always will be the outer cases, but right now the easy access I think is what they got to focus on. And if they can get that done, that'll be enough to discourage it from being such a normal thing. I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that a lot, and I think that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna hopefully see. I mean, again, like you just
Yeah.
said, cheating is a cat and mouse thing, and it's something we're always gonna deal with, but if we can make it harder for them and, less exclusive or inclusive and more exclusive, that would be a big start. There's only gonna be so many people that are willing to go that route. But yeah,
I just
that's,
can't believe cats and mice have such good
yeah,
PCs that they
they're
can run Tarkov.
yeah, and cheats at the same time. It's insane.
Yeah.
Um, One day we'll catch up with them though, hopefully. We'll hopefully be like the people, the cat and the mouse, but whatever. That's everything I got for this week. Is there anything else you wanna add?
Nope, that is it.
All right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Talking Tarkov, be sure to like the vid and comment below how you feel about the changes made this hardcore wipe. Are you a fan of it? Have you already quit playing? Just let us know. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so each one helps us out a lot, and it keeps you up to date with all our content. I'd like to say thanks to our subscribers and a special thanks to our channel members. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member below. We'll catch you next week. See ya.